Hello everyone, welcome back. I am going to continue with my little bit of a series. Let me restart it. Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm going to continue with the series that I have going on building a brand in the simplest form. What I am going to do is to show you the process of making mockups. And I'm going to use Photoshop and Illustrator since that's what I started with. And I just want to continue. I'll probably do this again in the future and use Infinity full time. Been really enjoying it. I have noticed that there is a little bit of an issue that I wish and kind of hope they fix. Just don't worry about that. I want to focus on this. But the importance of a mockup. A mockup is how you will present this to the client. Now, this being more of a high-end fashion type of business, I decided to pick a few different items. One being a bag, one being the actual t-shirt, a pen, and a business card, which you should always include a business card when showing clients mockups. Again, mockups are extremely important in this process because this is how you will see it in the real world, and it helps the client kind of see how things are going to look. And it's always great to have a presentation to do this because this helps illustrate the design. Now, without further ado, let's begin. So as we see, I am in Photoshop right now. It is very important to have these files already set up for you guys so you can kind of see the process, what I go through. But for right now, what we did last time is I did ask for opinions on which one we should use. A lot of people like B, however, I think I'm going to be using C as the main logo as it has that little professional look to it a little bit more. But I do like the lightning bolt on the B, and if I spent a little bit more time I probably could have like fused them together a little bit, but for right now we are going to be using C. But thank you for commenting and discussing about it. So when we head back into Photoshop, you'll see that I already have 4 files already kind of like got it up, and this isn't a sponsorship or anything, but I do use Involto Elements to get all my mockups right now, and it's really important that you find a good website, and I do recommend them. But we have t-shirt, bag, and of course business cards. I chose the ones with rounded corners to give it a little bit more professional look, and I did it in a square. So, but when we go back to the pen, you kind of see that it's a blank pen and everything, and this is where it kind of becomes a little bit important. So I'll head back into Illustrator. I'm gonna select this whole thing. Make sure Control C, Control V, copy and paste. When we head back into there, make it a smart object. But for right now, as you can see, this file type, this is where you're going to put your design. And it usually has the actual outline. So I'm going to make this a smart object so I can edit it a little bit. Turn this around. And as you can see, it's just kind of fiddling with the actual mock-up and the smart layers. So this would, I would assume, be the top of the pen. I'm going to make this a little larger. That way everything kind of fits a little bit better. So I'm going to check it by placing it. And I'm also going to add the name. But first I'm going to add a background, because if I just put it on this layer, it's not gonna be the exact color that I want. And when they wanted a purple, that's kind of their main thing, a little bit more professional, a little bit more royal look to it. So I'm gonna add that, drop it down, make sure everything fits perfectly. And then if I go, I'm actually going to change the color on this so that way it sees a little bit better. Yeah, just gotta make sure to select everything. So I'm gonna hide it just in case it does reselect. Go back. I'm gonna pick a little bit more of like a silver tone to kind of get that like nice shine off the pen, because most of these mockups are really well done and will have all the effects and everything. So when you do the actual mockup, it looks a little flat, but once you hit save, on it and go back, it should shine. I'm gonna also put the name on here. Just so you guys can see like what wording would look like. I'm also gonna change the type due to the fact that it will look a little bit different. Change the font size, change the font itself so it looks a little bit more professional. I'm kind of using the base of the T to kind of give it that nice little professional serif. And I really like, I think I'm gonna go for this one, engrave. It just has that like nice finish to it. So once you have that, you can go in, go back to the pen, hit save, and you can kind of see it. As you can tell, it's a little bit more spaced out right here. I'm gonna go ahead and fix that real quick, bring it down. That way the spacing is a little bit more correct. Gonna hit Control S, and you can kind of see that it moved. So the pen, it looks good. Everything looks pretty spaced out. You can kind of see the effects of the shine going through. You can edit those if you want to, but I kind of more or less just stick with your design here as to not change anything too drastic. Now moving on to the shirt, it's more or less the same process. I'm gonna select the purple real quick, but for right now I'm also gonna select the logo. That way I can see how everything looks. Now shirt designs are a little bit different in terms of the mock-up itself. You usually get this rectangle and you kind of have to play with it a little bit more. I'm gonna change the color so it's a little bit easier to see. I'm kind of not using as many shortcuts. As you can see, I'm going to also change the shirt color itself. I don't really like this color right now. I think I'm going to go more with the blue rather than a red. Kind of not as purple. Like there's good. There's good. That's a good blue, nice and bright, kind of vivid. And then we're going to go ahead and, you know what, I'm going to change the rest of the shirt too. That way it can kind of give it a little bit more variety. Just a little bit lighter. Kind of like a white. Making sure both of them are actually white, because you never know. Could be an off-white. Looks like it is. Perfect. Gonna go ahead and go back, and this is where you kind of fiddle with the actual logo itself. Some of them, depending on the mock-up, you'll have, like I said, have to play with it, but most of the time if you get this rectangle, it usually means the whole shirt in a way. So if I save and go back, yeah, so as you can see, that whole thing is basically the shirt. So what I'll have to do is, first I'm going to change the color, that way it's a little bit more vibrant on the logo. I think I'm going to do this like nice yellow to kind of introduce that T in the black. Oops. So once you get the color correct, I think I'm going to do that just to kind of add that variety as well. And then you want to go ahead and save, but I'm going to also change the size because I saw how big it was. Like I said, it's just a bunch of fiddling and trying to like size it up, make it look good. And I'm going a little quick right now to kind of show you the process, but for the most part I would spend hours on mockups alone. So as I head back, save, it's still a little too big, but the colors, I don't know about that, but it's definitely still too big. So I'm gonna go back, go in, try to get everything set up. And let's go ahead and change a few things here. I think I'm going to change these purple actually to give it that like identity a little bit more. Hit Control S. Not too bad. We're getting better. We're getting smaller. Everything's looking a little bit more. Now I won't lie, this isn't my favorite mock-up, but it still looks a little flat, but it does have the basics. So I'm just gonna go back in and continue making small changes to kind of like size it up and position it correctly. And again, you just want to spend as much time on these mock-ups. I'm just making more of a quick tutorial, of the process of a mock-up, so that way you guys can kind of understand how it is. Might change the shirt color a little bit so it's a little darker to kind of fit that more professional feel. Okay, so now the bag. There's a lot to this mock-up. As you can tell, there's a whole bunch of different things that will impact how it looks. So first things first, I'm going to change the background. I think it's a little too bright. And what you want to do is boom. So again, I can spend hours on just this mock-up alone, just to make it look good and clear. Like I said, the importance of a mock-up is to show the client what it would look like in the real world. So again, I'm gonna grab that purple that we use for the pen. Trying to get that nice look to it. Gonna get the logo itself, smack it on there, of course size it up. So when you see pixels like that, you kind of just want to get rid of it because it's small, so it's a little fuzzy right now. But yeah, I'm just gonna grab the original logo from the Illustrator file, Control C, Control V. That way the vector can still be the same. Boom. So as you can see, when I size it up, it's a little bit more clear. And we are almost to the point I'm gonna start making the actual bag look good, and I'm actually gonna speed this up a little bit. Okay, so I got the front of the bag. Now we're gonna just change the color so it matches actual purple and see how that looks. And like I said, you just can change the whole thing. I made it a little darker so it captures that shadow a little bit better. And again, I'm just gonna quickly go ahead and change the whole thing. Just gotta find that file. And let me go ahead and just change everything up real quick. Okay, so I'm just gonna change the lightning bolt color real quick and call it good, and boom, you got the package. And just to kind of make everything up, again, I can spend hours on this, but now moving on to the most important one, the business cards. Business cards are extremely important because this is like the first thing that you see, and I'm going to use this one as the front of the business card. This one usually has the logo and kind of the first thing. So again, I'm going to use the Illustrator file, so that way it's still a vector, smart object, and boom, just kind of sizing it down, making sure it looks right, especially being in the middle, because again, this is going to be the first thing that a lot of people are going to hand out. And again, I'm just going to change the color and the type for this, that way everything looks professional as all get up. Might size it up just a little bit, that way it gets those nice centered lines. Apply. Go back here and boom, there's the logo right on the front. Probably going to change that just a little bit, that way it's a little darker because it's a little bright. And again, you're just gonna keep fiddling in until, in honest truth, it just starts looking good. This is probably way too dark for the actual one. I'm kind of doing a medium gray rather than super light gray, and yeah, it's a little bit better. So kind of like how that looks. Now moving on to the main one of the back. The back is kind of where you're going to be putting a lot of more information, aka names, title, name, and like address, like email address. So you kind of want to make sure everything kind of looks proper. Again, I'm going to use engrave just to kind of keep everything cohesive. I'm just going to pick a random name, Bob Stewart. First thing I came up with. And again, you kind of want to just keep everything a little bit more maintained and use that hierarchy when you design these, just to kind of keep everything together. And again, I'm just going to speed through this real quick. So just give me a second. Okay, so I'm just putting in the email real quick, making sure everything looks well. Again, you got to keep everything the same. Try to have that hierarchy in mind, nice and clear. That way everything looks nice. Okay. And boom. Kind of put this in the center, keep everything together. And boom, you got out the business cards. Nice and easy, nice and simple, but still looking good. Thank you guys again. Hopefully this helps kind of showcase what a mock-up really is and kind of the process with it. But you guys take care. Well, I hope you liked the video. Hopefully that helps, and hopefully I explained everything well for you guys. I greatly appreciate you guys watching these videos. That really actually does mean a lot to me, and I'm going to keep trying to improve this channel as much as possible. If you have any suggestions, please help me out. And if you have any suggestions on what you would like to learn as a graphic designer starting out, please hit me up. Would love to know, so maybe I can make a video out of it and kind of help you guys through. Anyway, you guys have a great day. Keep designing. Peace out.